What's up, everyone? Nick Arapkalis here, and welcome to this video. If you're looking for a way to utilize email marketing in a more effective manner, then this is certainly the right video for you. Okay, now before we do get started, if you do want to go check out my free video training that shows you how to do internet marketing in a very specific way, how I've been doing it for the past almost 7 years now, head on over to mentorwithnick.com. There's mentorwithnick.com. Links down in the video description, but without further ado, let's get into this stuff about email marketing. And this is a little different than what a lot of people teach. Now, I'm just going to share with you a couple principles right away, and then I want to get into actually a specific email that I just wrote last night that has been producing some good results. So I want to share that with you and kind of the psychology and reasonings behind it. Okay? So one of the big things that you can do is email your list on a consistent basis, even on a daily basis. Okay, I was listening to a podcast of one of the biggest and best email marketers in the game right now, and I imagine a lot of people watching this know who I'm talking about. But the big thing that he shared about daily email broadcasts is that it's kind of the way that you can compensate for not being able to have a huge budget to spend ads on. If you're not constantly getting like 100, 200, 300 leads per day, you can't really compete with those type of guys or gals or whoever they are if you're doing the same type of practices, if you're just doing the same type of emailing strategy that they're doing. And emailing on a daily basis is one of those strategies that is kind of like, I don't want to really say it's the little man's way to do things, but it just gives you an advantage that most people don't have if you're going to do it the way that I'm going to teach you here in a moment. Because a lot of people will just email their list and they'll just hammer them with the same message, the same offer, everything. Nothing changes, and people just stop opening your emails, and that doesn't do any good either. Okay? So I just want you to understand that you don't have to do it every day. I certainly don't do it every single day. I'm just saying it's going to give you an advantage. It's going to, when you start writing them in an effective manner as well, it's going to build up your tribe and your crowd, your audience. Okay. Obviously it can start, the open rates can start dropping because the people that are just not interested, that are not just glued to you, are going to stop opening them. But the people that are loyal to you are going to become even more loyal to you. Okay. So the next thing that I want to share with you about before we dive into this is that one of the best things that you can do is simply entertain people. Okay? People are bored as hell. They're just so bored. They're bored with their same routine, their same day-to-day minutia, the same thing that they do. They go to work, they come home from work, they have dinner, and then they go to sleep. That's on repeat every single day in some form. Most people. Okay, so if you can just be that person that simply just entertains, then you're so much further ahead of the rest of the email marketers. Okay, so that alone. Now here's the third thing, and this is kind of ties more into the email practice that I'm going to share with you here in a moment. Basically, you want to have the ability to take anything. Okay, take walking your dog. Take the rain falling from the sky, going on a trip, going to the doctor's office, whatever it is, you want to take a certain topic, whatever it is, and being able to implement some type of entertainment into it. You don't always have to, but it obviously, like I said, it's better. But always relating that back into your pitch. Okay? Somehow, and I'm going to share with you kind of a strategy that I did here, but somehow tie that back into your pitch. Okay, so walking the dog, you somehow tie that. If you're promoting a diet offer, somehow tie that back into your offer. Okay, so just get into the habit of doing that. If you can, then you're certainly going to have some solid results. Okay, so I want to share with you an email that I wrote just last night. So it hasn't, not my whole list probably hasn't even opened it yet, but I want to share this with you in this video. Okay, so I titled it, or the subject line was the iPhone X or the iPhone 10, whatever it's called now, because that just launched, and that's another good strategy is to kind of utilize things that are happening in the now, that are popular, because it's going to give you higher open rates and it's just going to give more relevance to what you're talking about. Okay, so the title or the subject of the email was iPhone X. Okay, so I'll just kind of read the email to you and then I'll come back and explain more about what I was doing. Okay, so would you consider Apple to be one of the better companies out today? Regardless if you're an iPhone or Android lover, I think we can all agree that that company as a whole is the cream of the crop, or at least one of the sharper tools in the shed. So how did Steve Jobs get it that way? Well, he didn't let B players stick around. When Steve and his team was developing the Mac, he was ruthless as per usual. However, this time he went above and beyond. He just started firing B programmers and engineers left and right because they weren't A players, even though by some people's standards they were really good. The reason he did this was because he knew that if you wanted to be or build the absolute best, then you couldn't entertain anything besides the elite. B players will start attracting C players, he would say. A lot of people thought it was crazy, but I say it worked out for him. Heck, people are doing everything in their power nowadays just so they can pay over $1,000 for an upgraded phone, iPhone X. I think that is crazy, especially since most people buying that thing already have a perfectly working, slightly older version. Anyways, I think the big thing we can take away from Steve is to never compromise. Never settle for good enough if the best is what you want. If you want to live the best life possible, and then show it in your thoughts and actions every day, no matter what. That's my Sunday tip. Hope you had a great weekend and are ready for the upcoming week. Oh, and by the way, if you're still looking for a solid system, here is the iPhone X of internet businesses. Talk soon. Okay. So I told a story. There wasn't too much entertainment in that one, but told a story that gets people in trance, first of all, and then I did instill a lesson in them, and then I kind of tied the whole email back into my offer. Okay, so I explained, how, Steve Jobs, he never settled. He always made sure the elite was around, and that's how you have to operate your life if you really want to have the best life possible. Okay, it's all about the environmental exposure. You become the most like the people you hang around, that type of thing. So that's why I really wanted to instill in people and really get them to really go for the best. Okay, that's really what it was. And then talking about how they need to, be consistent with their thoughts and actions if they want that type of stuff. And then here's the thing: is so one of the businesses that I'm in, I consider one of the top businesses out today. And so, because of that, obviously iPhone X is like the top of the phones right now, the iPhones. I kind of intertwined those together. So, the iPhone's really good. This business is really good. So I'm like the iPhone X of internet businesses. So if you're looking for a solid system, then, click on this and check it out. So that's really it. I mean, it's not real complicated. You can see it's not like a super long email. I mean, it's not like it's a real quick, tiny email with a couple texts and a link, but people that are actually clicking on this link, they've already read the entire story. They're already engaged within you, and then there's a much more highly targeted prospect by clicking on that. And I'm going to show you. Okay, so let me come into my ClickMagick link and show you this. This was the link that I used. So I'm always tracking my links. That's just another thing that you should always be doing. But here was, I just, named the link iPhone X, so I knew exactly what it was. And I had 72 total clicks, 65 unique clicks. I mean, I just sent this out, so not a ton of clicks yet. But 65 clicks, and here is the most important thing, 4 sales, okay? With a 6.2% sales rate. That's pretty good. I think a lot of people would be happy with a 2% conversion rate, but here we've, tripled that. So, like I said, if you do this type of method, it's going to increase your sales rate. You might not get as many clicks just because, people have to read all the way to the bottom, but, it's a much more highly targeted prospect, like I said. So that's the rundown on this specific way of email marketing. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel because I am going to be coming out with more content like this. I'm definitely getting more apt into the email marketing and specifically this particular method because I'm just realizing the power. I've done this stuff before and I forgot how good it works. So I'm going to start constantly doing this a little bit more and sharing with you guys, and possibly even putting together a product that really teaches all this stuff in full depth. So make sure and subscribe, and then make sure and go watch my video training. You'll be able to opt into my email list, and then I'll obviously I'll notify you when that product does go live, if I do release it. Okay, well, thanks for watching this video, guys. I appreciate your time. All the links are down in the video description. If you have any questions, hit me up on social media. All those links are down in the video description, like I just said. And have a great night, guys. I'll talk to you soon.